Welcome back to the College Huddle, everybody. I'm joined now by Zach Morath. He is a part of the Rebel Walk, our sister podcast, I guess you could say, in the College Huddle for Ole Miss. Zach, welcome back, buddy. Return visitor.
Eric, I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz around the program right now, and might not be a good thing for us, but it's fun to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's dive right into that. But before we do, Zach, tell everybody a little bit about Rebel Walk and about yourself, man.
Yeah, so I'm a junior at Ole Miss. I'm coming in from the Chicagoland area. Wanted to get involved quickly. So I joined Rebel Walk. We are a local media website. We don't really have any affiliation. And that's the really cool thing. We try to keep it local, get the perspective from the Ole Miss fan, from people who have been fans of the program for years and years on end. So you can drop us a follow, subscribe to our YouTube and social media at The Rebel Walk, and reach out to me at Zach Morath on Twitter if you have any questions.
Beautiful. All right, Zach. The big news right now going around the SEC is, does he stay or does he go? Lane Kiffin. He has done a tremendous job. I highlighted this yesterday when I did a video about the, I guess you could say, the desire of Florida fans to maybe pull him from the SIP. And I think they're considering him their number one candidate right now, based off of the intel that I have. What's the buzz around campus, and has Lane Kiffin said anything about this?
Yeah, so Lane, as much as I really do appreciate the things that he's done, he might be the worst coach at handling these situations, Eric. I'll keep it honest with you. You see coaches around the country coming out, plain and simple, saying that they're going to stay at their school. And Lane's refusing to do that. He refused to do it back in 2022. And quite honestly, it ruined the second half of the season there. Ole Miss was on the 35-yard line, a touchdown away from beating Alabama. And then they go on to lose to Arkansas and eventually find their way into the Texas Bowl, where they got demolished by Texas Tech. And all Ole Miss fans can hope at this point is that Ole Miss comes ready to go at Oklahoma. It sounds like right now, Lane has been presented a contract. Keith Carter, our athletic director, has publicly gone on articles and said that, hey, we've offered him a new figure. And Lane is not going to sign. He's not going to sign with Florida. He's going to keep this ongoing for weeks and weeks on end. Like I said, I like Lane. I appreciate the things that he's done, but he loves when the media is talking about him. And he's going to keep dragging this thing on for presumably a very long time. And it goes to show that as much as coaches say they can change, at the end of the day, Lane Kiffin is a guy who left Tennessee in the middle of the night for USC. And unfortunately, I think those are some pretty deep rooted tendencies that might be with him for the rest of his career, even if he goes to Florida, Eric.
So his current salary is somewhere in the ballpark of 9 million.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it was a 8.8 and a half, and then he got a retention bonus of $150,000. I would like to just have the retention bonus myself. I don't know about the 8.8 and 8.5 million. But $9 million salary for 2025, and it goes through 2029, if I'm not mistaken, in the current contract. So is this a restructuring of the current deal? Is it basically throwing more money on top?
Yep. And this is exactly what they did, again, with that Auburn situation. It was a restructuring. It was like they added a few more years onto it. And you'd probably see a similar thing here. But yeah, there's a deal on his desk right now. It would probably make him a top 5 highest paid coach in the sport. And at that point, you got to start looking in the mirror and asking yourself, is it worth paying Lane Kiffin top 5 money in the sport if with an NFL roster, he's not even going to take you to the college football playoffs and he's going to continue to look for other jobs year after year? That's the question Ole Miss fans are starting to deal with, because it's frustrating, Eric. And it's not, again, Florida's a great program, but this isn't 2008. This isn't 2010. It's been almost 20 years since they won a national championship. And they're out here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it on social media. Ole Miss from the university account will post something completely random, and Florida fans are in the comments talking about Lane. I almost respect it. Let me say that before they come after me. Um, but it's really interesting. And Ole Miss fans, I mean, Lane comes out with this documentary. It seems like he loves Oxford, all this stuff, yet he refuses to sign this extension. And even if he stays at Ole Miss, he's going to be the topic of discussion. He's going to become a distraction for this team. Um, and I think you're lying to yourself if you don't think that's the case. I mean, these players have social media. Like, you open your social media account, I'm seeing Lane in Florida Gator edits left and right. So I don't think it's fair for him to say that it's not a distraction for the team, because I know if I was a player, I'd be like, this is pretty annoying seeing my coach in different team colors. But yeah, I mean, Andy Staples said it earlier today. This is a situation that's probably going to be dragged down for a very long time. But I think this game this weekend has a lot of impact on it, Eric, because if you're Ole Miss and you lose, I mean, you're getting a looking ahead. You still have to go to Starkville in a heated Mississippi State rivalry game. You host Florida, so that'll be interesting. You host South Carolina. I mean, those are games you should win, but you just never know in this day and age. And if you win this weekend, your spot and your bid at the college football playoffs looks pretty damn good. I
Yeah.
don't think Lane would leave that situation, especially when the transfer portal opens up basically during the college football playoffs.
He's the most successful coach in the SIP, maybe in my lifetime. And to think that this is kind of this cloud is hanging over the university and the athletic department, the football program, is really interesting. And you have to wonder if it will play a part in this week's game. This is a
Yep.
huge game for both teams. I'm kind of calling it kind of like a elimination game in a lot of ways. Oklahoma's schedule down the stretch is brutal.
Yep.
It is brutal. They absolutely have to have this win. I think they can. I think they can get in at 10-2, but they're gonna, if they're 10-2, they're gonna get in just because of the quality of wins they're gonna have. But it if you fall here and you fall to well, I guess it would be 6-2 at this point with the remaining schedule that Oklahoma's got. It's pretty much an elimination game,
Right.
and you kind of feel, even though Ole Miss has an easier road to hoe here, if they lose this game and it comes down to Oklahoma and Ole Miss, of course they're going to go with Oklahoma. They have the head to head. Um, it feels very much like this could be a major distraction. Is there a worry for that going into this game?
Oh, absolutely. And it just keeps coming to the fact that Ole Miss fans have a right to be bothered that Lane Kiffin drags these situations out. I mean, look at what Kurt Signetti did, Eric. A guy probably would have been offered maybe more for that Penn State job, and before anything even starts circulating, no, he signs it, it's done. And Lane Kiffin's done the exact opposite. Um, Notre Dame head coach, same thing. He told Florida no. And Dan Lanning, he's come out in the past when his name circulates. He says absolutely not. Lane does the opposite. It's absolutely a distraction. You're lying if you don't think that's the case. All of these players have social media. All of these players are seeing this. I guarantee it. And we're going to find out really quickly. You know, you turn on that game at 11 a.m. If Ole Miss gets dog walked out of out of that stadium in Norman, it tells you a lot about where Lane's head at and where the team is. And it could make for a really long several couple of months here. And then on the flip side, if they win and they look locked in and ready to go, I think that gives you your answer as well. Lane seems dialed in. He's probably going to end up staying. And if Ole Miss handles business, they're probably going to make the college football playoffs. But the problem with going 10-2, our best win right now is against an LSU team. That's not a good win. And then the second best win is against Tulane, which is not very impressive at all. So, like you said, this is almost a must win for both teams. And it's going to play a lot when factoring in, wins and losses and strength of schedule into the college football playoff.
I made the comment yesterday. If Kiffin goes to Florida, I believe Ole Miss will look over to the state of Louisiana at John Sumrall.
Yep.
Well, am I thinking the right direction there?
Yeah, I think Summerall's a guy. I mean, he's an absolute beast. There's Brent Key's another one, Kenny Dillingham. But the problem with these guys is they're coaching the schools that they played and graduated from.
Mhm.
Ole Miss doesn't have that guy. There is no Ole Miss head coach somewhere waiting to come home. Look at Kirby in Athens. Look at, like I said, Brent Key, Dillingham. These guys went to their universities. It's going to be hard to pull them away. That's why Summerall is easily would he'd be at the top of that list, and they'd probably end up exploring James Franklin. Eric, I think of James Franklin as Lane Kiffin, but the exact opposite of how Lane acts and how Lane plays in football. James is his games are not fun to watch. There's really a lack of offense. There's a lot of great defense though. And
Mhm.
then you also don't you're not going to find James tweeting weird cryptic messages during the season. So, and his personality is very serious. Like that's James, but the results are very similar. His big claim to fame is struggling to beat Ohio State and Michigan, and for Kiffin at Ole Miss, when I mean he could never beat Saban at Alabama. That was his kryptonite, and he struggles to win games when the season's on the line. And you look at last year at Florida and at Kentucky. This year, Ole Miss has a two-score lead at Georgia. We can't close out that game. So they're very comparable, James Franklin and Lane Kiffin. It sounds crazy to say, but I think James and, like you mentioned, John Summerall would absolutely be somewhere at the top of the list.
Yeah. It's incredibly interesting. And to think, I mean, you're a top 10 team. You're on the cusp of college football playoff. I mean, everything is right there in front of you, and we just spent what, 15 minutes, 12 minutes talking about drama.
It's ridiculous. A lot of Ole Miss fans are finally reaching the point where, I mean, it's almost not that it's unfair, but you look around the country, not a lot of other coaches are doing this. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I imagine it is, man. All right, let's talk a little bit about this particular game against Oklahoma. What is the aside setting that aside, because obviously that's the main story going into this thing, man. What's the other kind of storyline as far as the game itself that you have been writing about, have you been talking about and thinking about going up to Norman?
Yeah, man. So I was just wrapping up an article. This Ole Miss defense, not a single stop against Georgia. Guys look tired. Effort wasn't all there in the fourth quarter because they're so tired. I mean, they have to come with a statement game down there in Norman. And look, Georgia runs the ball almost better than anybody in the country. Nate Frazier and Bowens are two guys who are going to get 4 or 5 yards of carry against most teams, and I understand that. Whereas Oklahoma's not, right? I mean, John Mateer almost has the most carries on the team. And this guy, Blaylock, he's a true freshman running back. He's really good, but he's not at that superstar running back caliber level that a lot of teams had going into the season. So this defense not only has to stop Mateer in the run game, but the guy's explosive. He scrambles, he keeps plays alive, and they got a really good receiving core. You got four receivers with basically 20 plus receptions, and all of them are averaging about 15 yards a catch. This is an Oklahoma offense that I think can get overlooked sometimes. I do think Mateer rushed back from the thumb surgery a little bit early. I think that played a factor in that Texas game. So as he starts working back to full strength, the offense is dangerous, and this Ole Miss defense, you have to be prepared. I mean, a lot more than last week because it did cost you the game. And then on the other side of the ball, Trinidad Chambliss, I thought he stayed away from running the ball like he has his potential to in that second half at Georgia. And against this Oklahoma defense, you're going to have to figure out a way to get Chambliss involved in the ground game because they're going to stop the run and they're probably going to get a couple sacks. They are violent. Brent Venables, like Kiffin said it, but I mean, his film study, his ability to pick up on signs throughout the game it's phenomenal. So Lane's got to be prepared. I think you have to be able to establish the run, like I said, with Chambliss and Kewan Lacey, and pick apart the zone a little bit as well. When that's what Kiffin's really good at. When he notices defenses are in zone, almost did it last week, but just these short 15-yard passes over the middle of the field, they start to add up quickly. So those are kind of my keys, Eric. It's going to be difficult, but again, another factor is that it's supposed to rain all day in the high
Mm.
of it's like 65 in Norman. So running the ball, man, it's going to be crucial. It's probably going to be pretty difficult for two teams who are facing similar problems in the run game.
Yeah, interesting. I'll ask for your prediction here in just a minute. We're going to do five predictions against the spread here in just a minute, but let's play a little game. I'm going to give you some. I'm going to give you some quick SEC questions. I want you to kind of give me your hot take. Maybe put on your Swami hat here. Look in your crystal ball. If you got one of a magic 8 ball there in your dorm room, maybe you can shake that up and give me an answer. All right, we're looking here in the middle to end of November. Is Brian Kelly still the head coach at LSU?
I do think so. I think not this year, but I think next year Kelly's going to go. And if Lane's at Ole Miss, yeah, guess what? We're going to be having the same conversation about Lane going to LSU. So that's my prediction there.
There you go.
Uh,
There you go. Give me the four teams from the SEC who make it to the college football playoff. Go.
Alabama won. They look unbelievable right now. Shout out to Bower. They've really bounced back. They look like a great team. Georgia obviously coming in at the number 2 spot. Gets difficult here. I'm going to go. This might be tough. I think Oklahoma sneaks in, Eric, and
Ooh, okay.
I think Mateer is really good, and that kind of leaves that 4th spot. I'm kind of between Ole Miss and Missouri. Um, it's going to be really interesting. I don't think Texas will do it. I really don't. I don't have a lot of faith in what I've seen from Arch Manning. And then there's a lot of programs like South Carolina who just aren't even. They're supposed to be really good, and they're not. Or you may even throw Vanderbilt in that conversation. They're having an awesome year. I think that 4th spot is up for grabs a little bit. You could even debate Oklahoma, switch them for Vandy, but those are probably the teams I consider the most.
Most underrated coach in the SEC right now is who?
That's a great one. Put some thought into me. Huh. Let me think. I think DeBoer is really underrated right now.
Okay.
He's gotten a lot of smoke, especially after that Florida State loss, but he's got those boys ready to go. And I think, Lee over at Vanderbilt, I don't think he's underrated because Vanderbilt's that good. They're there, man. I don't think there should be any sort of underrated conversation about him.
Give me your three Heisman. Who do you think candidates will go to New York? Give me three guys who would get the trip to New York.
I think because Notre Dame's just horrible back half of the schedule. I'll throw Jeremiah Love in there. Wow, this is. I'm trying to think because
he absolutely train wrecked USC last week, dude.
yeah,
He was untackable.
I know. Who do you even think's in the conversation, Eric?
Quarterback at Alabama.
Yeah,
Um,
Simpson.
Quarterback at Ohio State.
Yeah, saying he's been that.
Yeah.
That's probably it. Those are probably the 3 right there.
Okay.
I'm struggling. There's no like go.
Mateer was like
Yeah,
he was in the lead and then he got injured and it fell apart. Take that back. At the beginning of the season, Arch Manning was crowned preseason Heisman. There we go. Let's go there, dude. Give me your Arch Manning Texas take. Go.
it's really bad. I think what the media did to him is unbelievably horrible. You have Paul Feinbaum saying Arch Manning's going to be the best college football player ever before he even takes a snap. I feel bad for him. At the same time, he's also doing it to himself. It was kind of funny. Week 1, they're playing Ohio State, and Arch looks awful. And then you go to the TV break, and Arch is in the commercial.
Every commercial. Yeah.
What are we doing, man? It's really not good over there in Austin.
Oh, that's funny. Speaking of Paul Feinbaum, what does Zach and Ole Miss fans think of the boy wonder there down in SEC country?
I think people have definitely switched their takes on him because he's never been a huge Ole Miss guy. Ole Miss hasn't really been relevant when Paul was kind of in his prime there 10 to 15 years ago. But the Lane Kiffin stuff with him is always super amusing. And I
Yes, it
think Ole
is.
Miss fans have kind of found a sweet spot with him because of it. Because every time Lane goes on Feinbaum, it's great content.
It is. It's fantastic stuff,
Yeah,
man. 100%. All right, dude. Let's jump into this weekend's top 5 games according to yours truly, and pick against the spread. Week 9. Here we go. This is how this runs down, Zach. So it's you and me head to head. We can agree on at least 4 games, but we must disagree on at least one.
I
If
love
we
it.
if we agree on the first 4, obviously you get to pick first. I will go opposite on the fifth. So far this year, through, believe it or not, this is actually week 10 because we did it in week 0 as well. I have a 4-5 record, so chances are, Zach, you are going to beat me today right now. But here we go. I'll let you pick first. It's
Yep.
Ole Miss, number 8, Ole Miss 6-1 at number 13, Oklahoma 6-1, and Oklahoma is getting 5.5 at home.
I'm taking Oklahoma. I don't trust the Lane Kiffin distractions right now. Um, and hopefully I'm putting myself in the right mindset so that if Ole Miss wins, hey, I'm the one smiling at the end of the day. But I truly do believe Oklahoma's going to cover. I am awfully concerned about the mindset of the team, and I really hope that I'm proven wrong this weekend.
Well, let's just disagree right off the bat. 5.5 is a lot to me in this
True.
game. I think this is going to be a very close game. I'm going to go ahead and take the under. Give me the points, man. I just think that even if Oklahoma wins, I don't think they win by 6 or more. So I think it's going to be a close game. Stick it in the. And by the way, that's a 12 p.m. Eastern kick on ABC, 11 Central Time. Number 15, Missouri travels to the state of Indiana to take on number 10 Vanderbilt. Both teams are 6-1. This is a 3:30 Eastern kick on ESPN, 2:30 Central. Vandy getting 2.5 at home.
I like
Uh,
it. Go ahead,
I'm
Eric.
I'm going to actually take Missouri with the upset here.
Sweet.
I like Eli Drinkwitz,
Yeah.
dude. I was kind of hoping you were going to go there when you said who's the most underrated coach in the
He was,
SEC.
yeah, he was kind of next up in my head.
I really respect the heck out of Eli Drinkwitz. I think he has overachieved immensely there, and is in tune to either cash in at home or be handsomely rewarded with a 11 million plus contract somewhere
Yep.
else if Missouri can't match. So that being said, give me the Tigers on the road.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that it's a coin flip, but I think Vanderbilt's trending in the right direction. I think with game day, they're going to see a crowd that you probably have never seen in that stadium over in Nashville. I'm going to say, give me Pavia, give me Vandy, two and a
Okay,
half.
there you go, very good. There's another Heisman candidate guy right there.
Him doing
Uh,
the pose after a touchdown last week was hilarious.
I think it would be better off if it had done a little
Yeah,
Johnny Manziel as opposed to that. But whatever. To each his own. All right, up to the Big Ten. The schedule this week in the Big Ten is awful weak. This is really the only good game in my opinion. I think the rest of them, Indiana's got UCLA, even though UCLA's on a I think a 3-game win streak right now after starting 0-4 and getting their coach fired. But it's Indiana right now, and they are just destroying opponents. And then Michigan State play in East Lansing. Michigan State looks awful right now, so I don't think either one of those games are worth mentioning. But this one is number 23 Illinois, 5-2 on the year. By the way, here's a trivia question. Illinois' only 2 losses this season have been to number 1 Ohio State and number 2 Indiana. I mean,
wow.
you want to talk about an argument if they could go 10-2 to get
Yep.
into the college football playoff. There you go. But they got to win this one, and it's in a very difficult place to win in at Washington, who's also 5-2 all the year, coming off a bad loss in the Big House to Michigan. The Huskies are getting 4.5 from Vegas here at home over Illinois. Zach, who you going with here?
Give me Illinois. Not a huge Illinois fan from the state, though. And that's about all I know in this game. But like you said, man, their 2 losses are against 2 of the top 5 teams in the country. So I think 4.5 seems like a little much.
Yeah, give me Big Bert and his Ozempic. I think Illinois is going to take this one. They're going to win this game, guys. Illinois, yeah, they got crushed against Indiana in Bloomington, but they looked pretty tough against Ohio State. Ohio State's made everybody look bad. That
Yeah,
was the closest game Ohio State's had other than Texas at the beginning of the year. So I think Illinois goes in there and wins this football game to keep their playoff hopes alive. I think Vegas is trending the wrong direction there, in my opinion.
I agree.
Number three, A&M. They are undefeated on the year, 7-0. They're traveling to Death Valley, number 20 LSU, 5-2. Um, I guess some are saying this could be a trap for A&M if the old SEC, every we beat up on each other, talking point wins out in this day. 7:30 kick on ABC. That is 6:30 Central Time. Woo! I don't trust LSU at all this season, and I definitely don't trust their head coach. I think A&M covers.
Agreed, man. LSU's in a really tough spot right now. Nussmeier's crying on the sideline last week. They have a lot of things to fix, and I'd be pretty surprised if they cover that 2.5.
And in the nightcap, 8 p.m. Eastern, I think it's 6 p.m. Mountain Time out there in Arizona. 6-1 Houston at number 24 Arizona State, who's at 5-2. This one's going to be in the desert on ESPN2, and Vegas is giving the Sun Devils 7 points at home. Zach.
7. I don't like that at all, Eric. I mean, Houston, like you mentioned it, but they're going to show up and they're going to be able to play a little bit. 7 seems like a lot. I can see a world where ASU, maybe wins by 6, but I just don't know about that extra point. I think Houston does enough to keep it close over there in Arizona.
Yeah, I'll go the other way for funds, kicks and giggles here. I think Arizona State's making a argument to try to get into the Big 12 champ. Well, they're trying to get into the Big 12 championship and get back to the CFP. Still a pretty good football team. Kenny Dillingham, I think, coaches circles around the Houston coaching staff here. 7 is a lot, but I think that they're going to get maybe they go up by 2 scores late, and it's
Now,
close. Yeah, maybe they're only up 6 or something, and they kick a
yeah,
field goal to go up 9 and put this thing away, that type of thing. So I'll go Sun Devils over, and that would give us 3 games that were different then. So sounds
there
good
we
to
go.
me, Zach. Awesome, buddy. You've been a great guest once again, my friend. Tell everybody where they can follow you.
Yeah, guys, you can follow my personal Twitter account at Zach Mareth. Go feel free to follow therebelwalk.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Rebel Walk. Also on Twitter and Instagram at The Rebel Walk. Again, guys, I appreciate the support and thanks for having me on, Eric. It's been a blast, man.
Absolutely, dude. The Rebel Walk, one of the best. They're my favorite Ole Miss podcast to follow. That's for sure. This guy's doing great work over here, man. Make sure you go give him some love. Follow him over there on the old X account and read his stuff. He's a great writer. He's going places in this industry, and we're glad to have the Rebel Walk as a part of the College Huddle. This is a friendly reminder to go check out our website, thecollegehuddle.com, where you can find 86 podcasts just like his from coast to coast. Look at the map. All over the place, man, coast to coast, man. We're touching from sea to shining sea, and even the Gulf of America or Mexico, whatever you want to call it these days. Thankfully, it hasn't produced a hurricane yet, so that I'm aware of, at least not a bad one. So we're thankful for that. But go check that out, everybody, and please give us a like. Share the show if you want. Subscribe if you're not already. And obviously, let us know what you think about what we think down in the comments section below. We will be back tomorrow with another video after some games are played, everybody. So stay tuned right here to the College Huddle. Till next time, take care.